17th. Ermanni and Edwards, the bottom line here on Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey.
Yes, sir.
Gang's all here. Braylon, you are looking fantastic today.
I appreciate that, man.
Oh, man, I'm telling you.
Taking a page out of the Ryan Ermanni men's dress wear for casual and dual purposing, if you will. Got the show going up on a Tuesday.
Look at this. You know, we're having some fun today. You know, the summer is winding down a little bit.
Is.
I know you're a big golfer.
I am.
How much has this show affected your golf game?
Well, it's funny you say that. You see, I'm stuttering over my words. You guys are cutting into the prime time. No, actually, man, it actually has gotten me to get up earlier, so now I can get out in the morning, man, get a 7 o'clock round in, play 9, or play by myself and get 18. Or what happens is, if you play these twilights, Maz, towards the end of the summer, it's when the weather's the best. No longer sweaty. It's no longer hot. It's no longer humid. It's no longer that August, you know, that Michigan August that's on you. So those twilight times around now are the best to play.
Maz, this guy, I'm telling you, is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the golf game because I didn't really, you know, when we first put this show together, Braylon and I are talking every day. Like, where are you, man? Dude's always golfing. He's going to join the Pro Tour.
Him and Mac, Darren McCarty, that's all they do.
Hey, man.
They golf. They have a good life, and they know sports. What more do you want?
It's so amazing that when you're younger, you don't think about nature just being so beautiful in the state of Michigan. Like, you don't think about the trees, you don't think about the season changing, the leaves and the hills and kind of like the hilliness of Ann Arbor, the Arborland. Like, when you're older, you start paying attention to that grown man stuff. I love golfing and being outside and being a part of nature, and it relaxes me, and it's very peaceful and serene. It's very green, as they say, so golf is great.
Well, we've got a big show today. We are really looking forward to it. About 55 minutes from now, we're going to be talking to the play-by-play voice of the Detroit Tigers, Dan Dickerson. A lot going on at Comerica Park tonight. Of course, Miguel Cabrera with another crack at hitting career home run number 500. The chase continues.
We're running out of time here in Detroit, though.
We are.
How many games do we have left?
Three.
This
and
is
then
it?
Back out to the road.
Oh, wow.
Back out to the road. So we'll talk that. Lots of Michigan stuff to get to, but we are going to start with the Detroit Lions. At 4 p.m. today, the cuts are taking place. So you go from 90 to 85 guys. Got to get down to 85. Dan Campbell, you know, he's been in this situation as a player and as an assistant coach. I'm sure as an assistant coach, he grew fond of guys that he was coaching in his position group. He knows this is always a tough day, but it is much different, Braylon, when you're the head coach and you are making these decisions.
Yeah, it's always a tough time because, you know, as a head coach, well, as a player, it's tough to watch guys. Let's say from my standpoint of view, where I knew I was a guy that was starting. I didn't have to worry about the Axeman coming down in the first 6 years of my career. It's tough to build a relationship with players and they become friends, and you may know them before they get to the team, or you may develop something during training camp, be it a similar place you grew up, similar college, similar position. And when you see the Turk coming, we call him the Turk. The Turk is the guy that works for, you know, the front office, and he comes down there and he comes to your locker and he says, hey, Ryan, you know, coach would like to see you. I want you to bring your playbook. We used to hate seeing that guy coming because it meant that a guy's dreams were potentially over and they were shattered. Now for a guy like Dan Campbell, who's the coach, he builds a relationship with these guys, man. He expects a lot out of them, man. He puts in time. He talks to them. He likes them. He watches them grow in the process of OTAs and training camp, and he sees guys take his tutelage under advisement and try to implement what he's coaching. And then you have to tell that player, Ryan, or you have to tell the meeting room or the front office. They come to you and say, we're going to get rid of this guy. Oh, it's a blow. So
and
it's
the
tough.
Closest I'll ever get to that, Braylon, is watching Hard Knocks. That's the closest I'll ever get to that.
Now, he was Hard Knocks himself with the Jets.
We did do it in 2010.
Who's the Turk on the Jets? Did you know him?
Yeah, you always know him.
I was going to say, you didn't know him?
Well, you knew him.
Well, it's usually a guy that's, you know, coming up the ranks in the front office. So he's a guy, he might be a scout. You know, he might be a guy that's working underneath, you know, as a PA for the president or a PA for the GM. So he's a guy you know, and you see him floating around, you're kind of like,
you want to walk the other way.
Close your eyes.
Any guys get cut? Well, lots of guys got cut during your career.
Yeah.
Anybody like special to you that it hurt you the most to see him go?
Yeah, when we were, this is when I was in New York in 2010. We brought back Lavernius Coles, and Lavernius Coles is an icon. Well, I don't want to say icon, but he's a really big figure in New York Jet football. Like, he had some really good years there, the Vinny Testaverde years, when they went to AFC Championship back in the early 2000s. Like, he became like a big brother figure. Like, the way he talked about football, the way he talked about life, he gave us life lessons. He was the old man in the room. And, when he got cut, although he didn't care, he was there for a reason, for a purpose. Like, that one was kind of tight. It was tight. It hurt when Lavernius left, because then I became the old man. So I think maybe that's what it really was.
Well, they're going from 90 to 85. The cut down is officially at 4 o'clock, the deadline coming up today. But Dan Campbell had this to say about the emotions of making these roster cuts. Take a listen.
Yeah, well, look, that's always tough. We've already had to make a couple of tough decisions. And, these guys that are out here, working the rear off and giving everything they've got, man, you're always mindful of that, and you appreciate that, but it's a hard business, But I think everything from our standpoint is, how do we get ourselves twofold? Number one, ready for San Francisco, and then also continue to evaluate who's going to be on this roster, who we think can make this roster and help us win. So I think that's the focus this week.
And one of the guys who is being widely talked about, can he help this football team or not, is a former second-round pick, the linebacker Jelani Tavai. And in my opinion, he looked terrible in that first. He looked like he didn't know where he was supposed to be. Forget about making tackles. Yeah. He looked like he didn't even know where he was supposed to stand on the football field. Yeah. But Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press came out with a column today and said that not only do they expect Jelani Tavai to survive this round of cuts, the linebacker coach expects Tavai to make the football team, the 53-man roster.
Now, is he just blowing smoke, or is this him actually giving his real spill? Because if he's not blowing smoke, then I'm confused. Jelani Tavai, in his first 2 years, nobody really was high on him when we drafted him. A lot of guys were upset with the pick. If you look back, I was talking to Maz, we got a couple guys before we get into what Jelani Tavai has done in his first 2 years, this being his third year. Like, we drafted him, and we passed on some guys. Am I right, Matt?
Oh, man. Can I cover my ears now?
Yeah, listen.
Is this the time of the show where I cover my ears?
Hey, you know it, man.
Number 43 was Jelani Tavai in the second round. That's what number he went.
If you remember, ESPN and NFL Network didn't even have any video on this guy at that point.
No stats, no nothing.
Nothing at that point.
Can I open up my ears yet?
No, not yet.
Open them up.
So these are just a few names. I'm just going to throw a couple on who we missed out on by Jelani Tavai. A.J. Brown, the wide receiver who's player. A monster down there in Tennessee Titans. Well, with the Tennessee Titans. Miguel Cabrera, the speedster out there in Kansas City with the Chiefs, number 17. I like that number, by the way. And then you got the real beast out there in Seattle who actually just ran in an Olympic race. DK Metcalf.
Now that's silly. Can I stop you there?
And we needed a wide receiver, by the way, at that time.
You look at DK Metcalf, and you go back to those times where he was, of course, the off-the-field issues. Did he love football? Is he? No. It's all garbage.
Yeah.
It's all garbage. Can the guy play football or not?
Those are three guys that we missed on. But getting back to Jelani Tavai, the big thing that I see is
there's a few more.
Yeah. Well, let me get back. I'm gonna let you do. I'm gonna let you get those in. Is Jelani Tavai blew up to 270 when we drafted him, so he wasn't able to play laterally. He wasn't able to have explosion. He wasn't able to be quick, and a lot of times you saw him getting, beat and looking kind of unathletic. So he loses the weight this year, and he's down. I want to say about 25 pounds or so, mass. I think he's down 25 pounds.
Oh yeah.
You watched the first game this past Friday. He's still out of place. He's still getting outrun. He's still looking, like you said, kind of in a state of bewilderment. Like he doesn't know where to be. He just doesn't look like he has the capability to do anything outside of run straight ahead.
You mentioned something, though, too, that I think really is highlighted in the NFL. Yeah. And if anybody on this desk can speak to it, you can. How important is it to get drafted by a team that suits you.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about Jelani Tavai. He gets drafted by the Lions. He's got to gain 25 pounds. Then they have a coaching change and a regime change. Then he's got to lose 25 pounds. Where you get drafted, I'm talking about the location of where you get drafted, is every bit as important as anything to career success. Almost.
Oh man, 100%. Look at a guy like a John Lynch. Okay, John Lynch, who's he's an All-Pro, Hall of Fame safety. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well as the Denver Broncos. He was a slow white guy, but he was good straight ahead. Very physical guy and extremely smart. Had some athletic abilities. You saw from every once in a while with a strip sack or an interception. If he doesn't get drafted by Tony Dungy's Tampa Bay defense,
that Tampa 2,
which allowed him to not have to be an athlete. He didn't have to play in cover 3 a lot. He didn't have to play in cover 4. He didn't have to be the athlete that an Ed Reed is, that a Troy Polamalu is. And then when he leaves Tampa after 16 years, they take that same defense, or he plays for the same type of defense in Denver. He's still playing in that Tampa 2 defense as his athletic ability and age is diminishing. He had a Hall of Fame career in a defense that suited his athletic ability and smarts. If you put him in a Baltimore Ravens defense, he would not have had the same career. So to your point, it matters where you go and how you can be utilized.
And we talked earlier today about Kyle Van Noy. I brought him up to you, he could be so bad here that they give him up for a 7th-round pick. He goes to New England and leads that team in tackles for a few years.
Yeah,
Kyle Van Noy, a 2nd-round pick.
I want to stick with this.
Something about playing for a ring versus playing for
Well, I want to stick with this if I can, because I have a great player who, if drafted by the right team, he may have been in the Hall of Fame. I'm going to get to that next, plus Dan Dickerson coming up in about 40 minutes. We are Ermanni and Edwards. This is The Bottom Line on Woodward Sports Network.
Why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 5-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
All right, before the break, I mentioned how important it is for NFL, for college kids to get drafted into not only, everybody wants to be a 1st rounder or 2nd rounder.
But the right situation.
The right situation is as important to a kid who gets drafted, a man who gets drafted, than anything else. We bring up Jelani Tavai. Got to gain 25 pounds, got to lose 25 pounds. Yeah. I'm going to bring up Braylon Edwards. Braylon, how many, seriously, as a wide receiver, you were the 3rd overall pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Probably as talented a wide receiver as anybody coming out of college in a decade.
Oh, man, you're too nice.
Well, it's just the facts.
I appreciate it.
It's just the facts.
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So
right.
I
numbers
appreciate
don't lie.
Right.
I'm serious. I'm a numbers guy. I think they tell whenever you have 2 sides of a story, just look at the numbers.
This is true.
Just look at the numbers. They don't lie.
Women don't want to hear that, but
they don't lie. I'm not going to touch that one, Braylon. But nonetheless, you get drafted by Cleveland and you play for 42 different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, you played
Was that it?
47, 52 quarterbacks. I don't even know if you could name all of the quarterbacks you played with, but call me crazy, but if that doesn't impact a player's career, if that didn't impact your career, I don't know what does.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. You get drafted. Being a high draft pick, a lot of times, sometimes it puts you behind the 8 ball.
Blessing and a curse.
Because you go, exactly, it's a blessing and a curse, because you could go to a team where the culture is down. Like you look at Cleveland. When I got there, I played for, I want to say, something like 12 quarterbacks or 13, 14 quarterbacks in my 4-year stint there, and just 3 different head coaches, and then offensive coordinators. I think we have 4. There was no consistency, so I never had a chance. I actually knew the offense my rookie year better than the guys on the team, because they brought a new offense in, and it happened to be the one we used at Michigan. But Romeo Cornell didn't want to hear that. But I'll give you a better example. Look at a Reggie Wayne. Okay, Reggie Wayne gets drafted late first round, like in the mid-20s somewhere, to the Indianapolis Colts. Well, when he gets there, his quarterback is Peyton Manning. The number one wide receiver is Marvin Harrison. His running back is Edgerrin James. Like, this is the team that he got drafted to because he went late in the first round. Reggie Wayne is a really good wide receiver, but he's not a Hall of Fame wide receiver if he had to play number one wide receiver. Like, if he was drafted to the Cleveland Browns, for instance, he's not a number one wide receiver that's going into the Hall of Fame without that type of help. So where you get drafted, man, definitely plays a point.
Look at Allen Robinson in Chicago. That guy's a talented wide receiver.
Detroit.
He doesn't have a quarterback to throw him the ball.
He does now.
He does. Now he does.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
This is true. You look at.
I don't know. Justin Fields. Who's
man,
he?
I'm high on Justin
all
Fields.
Right.
I like Justin.
You're
Fields.
high.
I'm high on Justin Fields, but it's just an example. Look, Danny Amendola. I mean, there's a classic one. Is Danny Amendola making $50-60 million in his career? If not for Tom Brady, how many contracts did he get out of Tom Brady?
Yeah, this is.
You go down to Miami, you get one here in Detroit.
Yeah, you get Wes Welker. You get some of those guys. Yeah, it's a system. Some players are systematic players, and they have to be in the right system to have that success.
Important.
What would have been a better team for you to go to when you got picked?
At that time? That's tough, man.
Well, Chicago at 4.
Chicago was a 4, but they had what, Rex Grossman?
Hey.
They had Rex
Super Bowl.
Grossman and Kyle Orton, and they had that would have been nice.
Rex Grossman led his team to a Super Bowl.
That's what I said.
I know that said Rex Grossman, and they brought in Kyle Orton, and they brought in Jay Cutler. Funny story, I almost went to Vanderbilt. And Jay Cutler would have got there the year after me, so I almost played with Jay Cutler twice.
What's that story? How do you go for Vanderbilt?
Well, Michigan hadn't offered me a scholarship yet, so I had 4 big scholarship offers. It was Michigan, Michigan State, Cal, and Vanderbilt. But Michigan was the last one on the table. So, like, out of the ones I had, Cal was too far. I didn't want to go to Michigan State. So Vanderbilt, I was a good academic.
Cool.
So
Nashville, baby.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
There you go. I would have been the dumbest mistake of my life. But
hey, you never know.
This is true.
I did want to get to this, guys, too. Tim Tebow cut.
Thank God.
Tim Tebow did not, all that hubbub about Tim Tebow getting a roster spot. He doesn't make it through the first cut, so he's out.
Good. I'm glad he's gone, and it's because of one. I think he's an amazing guy. But, I read something after he was cut. He talked about, I got to live my dream, etc. You already lived your dream. You're a Heisman Trophy quarterback. You could have won 2 Heisman Trophies. You won 2 national championships. You were drafted in the NFL. You led a Denver Broncos team to a division win, mind you.
Yes.
And a playoff win against the Steelers, so you guys were heavily underdogs. You won that game. You played 8 years in the NFL. You lived your dream. You potentially have taken somebody else's dream by coming back on
and that's your big issue,
yeah,
right?
like somebody else,
big issue.
Some other cornerback that has worked his way up and now he's looking for a spot and he's done his deal in college and he's ready. He could have been some type of standout in camp or a linebacker or a lineman, someone that has worked hard to get to this position. Tim Tebow and the funny experiment or the good old boys experiment, however you want to label it, he took away from somebody's chance to have a shot to make that Jacksonville Jaguars team and potentially have somewhat of a decent NFL career.
He had a couple of nice tweets that he did put out. He thanked people. Thanks for the
He's
dream
a nice
and
guy,
all.
you know that.
But you had a little something he kind of went overboard for you a little.
And I'm going to get to that in a little bit. I just did want to mention this first and foremost before we get to the Man Chill Out segment. Because Man Chill Out is my favorite segment of the.
He's always chopping off at the bit.
Man, I could just say Man Chill Out all day, but I'm going to get to that coming up at 2:40. But I never had a problem with him giving it a shot, and now I see where you're coming from as far as perhaps taking a roster spot. But he's a guy that knew a guy, had a great relationship with somebody, and I'm sorry, that's just how life works.
Yeah, but giving it a shot is if he's giving it a shot at quarterback again. Like he knows somebody who is Urban Meyer, who was his coach when he played quarterback. If he's trying to come back because he really didn't have a long playing career. He was on teams, but he didn't have a long playing career. If he wanted to come back at 34 because he's in tremendous shape, he takes care of his body, he doesn't feel like he was given a fair shake after the Pittsburgh-Denver game, then that's one thing. At least it's the position. But if you're trying to do a position that you've never played, just because you've thrown the ball to that position, just because quarterbacks typically are, assumed to have the biggest brains on the team, just because you know what that position does, doesn't mean you can play that position. That was my biggest thing with it.
So you're assuming that the Denver Broncos would have never won a Super Bowl had they stuck with Tim Tebow and not pursued
I don't know. He's got Jesus on the side. You can never go wrong with that.
You can't. Hey, there was some other cuts that went, and they're coming down fast and furious right now. But Tim Tebow, we mentioned, cut by the Jags. Justin Hari, let go by the Bears. Ito Smith by Arizona. Antonio Callaway from Kansas City. Alfred Morris of the Giants. Former Lion. Marvin Hall from the Patriots. Prince Amukamara, you knew him.
Number one
from the G-Men. And former Lion Bo Scarborough, let go by the Raiders. So, they're coming down here.
Yeah,
slowly but surely they're coming down. Hey, you mentioned Jay Cutler.
You
mentioned Jay Cutler. I'm interested in this, and I want to see if you have any similarities to ever speaking out as an athlete. But Jay Cutler is vocal about not having masks on kids when they go to school. This was a tweet by Clay Travis, who also lives in Nashville, Tennessee. Jay Cutler lost an Uber Eats endorsement deal because he doesn't believe kids should have to wear masks in schools.
You might want to retract that.
Screw Uber Eats. But Uber Eats has stopped their partnership, their endorsement deal with Jay Cutler over his position on masks on kids in schools.
That's a little premature. I get it if he would have done something reckless as it relates to mask, vaccinations, the whole back and forth as it relates to adults. But, Maz had an interesting take on this. I'm going to defer to Maz, but you lose an Uber Eats sponsorship because he's simply saying kids shouldn't have to wear a mask and play in this confined pandemic type of thing. I don't know.
You can't say anything anymore.
Yeah, that's a bit harsh.
Basically what's going on. And I'm always curious to see when athletes speak out about anything because athletes now we see weigh in on just about everything, and we all have a reaction to it. And maybe I'm the worst person in the world.
Right.
I have always been one of those guys, and I'm sorry for saying this if I offend anybody.
Watch it.
But life sometimes sucks.
Yeah.
For the average person, and I'm sure for professional athletes too, life sucks sometimes. Life is hard. And the only time you have to just kind of get away, and maybe this is an old man argument from 1980 or 90, is to go to a sports game or watch on TV and just let yourself kind of be immersed in the action of the sport and just forget about your own life for a little while. And then you've got everybody chiming in on everything, and it is okay to say. So then
sports becomes a political world.
And then sports goes right down that road where you're trying to get away from because you've got Larry Moe and Curly down at the cubicle, over here that are chirping in your ear. I don't know. I wish politics in sports was gone. I mean, that's just my wish. I wish politics in life was gone. Forget about sports.
It's only going to get bigger because at the end of the day, I think athletes spend so much time in the history of sporting just focusing on sports, trying to get deals, trying to worry about teams, family, etc. Now you have so many different levels of platforms. You have so many places for an athlete to stick up for what he believes in or what she believes in, or to talk about a topic or to talk about something that matters. It's only going to get bigger. And I think I applaud those athletes that take stances that they believe in wholeheartedly and that should be said. Like something like this, I don't even think this is political.
Right. I want to be very clear.
Yeah.
It is well within the athlete's right to say whatever they want to say.
Sometimes
I just, as a fan, would prefer, or an entertainer, Kid Rock. I went to one of Kid Rock's concerts, and I'm just
been in trouble.
It was
my community.
And I, you know what? I love Kid Rock, but I just want to go listen to the song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just want to be entertained, and that goes for both sides. I just want to be entertained. That's just me, and maybe I'm a terrible person for it.
Yeah.
But
you are entertained. Let's say NFL plays on Sunday. You're entertained on Sunday. Now, you're entertained by basketball games 2 to 3 times a week. You're entertained on TNT. You're entertained on ESPN when those games happen. But what you pay attention to when those games are not going on, be it social media, be it the news, be it whatever, that's on you. That's your fault for watching ESPN or watching Woodward Sports. You know, if you just want to be entertained, just turn on Sunday.
It's terrible, man, that this world we live in, that there's a bunch of just dweebs sitting there online waiting for somebody to say something that they don't agree with. They want to be the first one to put it out there. Listen to what this guy said. Oh, this guy, he should lose his job. But let's face it, that's just the way this world is now. And I hate to use the word cancel culture. I hate those words. But we are in it. We are in it deep. Why can't you just say what's on your mind and not lose your gig? What did Jay Cutler really say wrong?
To be
that
honest,
he doesn't want kids wearing masks? Ask a kid. Ask them if they want to wear a mask in school.
And to be honest with you, I didn't even know that Jay Cutler promoted Uber Eats until he got fired from Uber Eats. That's just
that's a good one. I didn't. It didn't come up on my Uber Eats app. I would have maybe spent more money. I don't know, or less.
Right. We're gonna have Dan Dickerson coming up in about 30 minutes from now, talking Tigers tonight. Also, the Woodward Sports app is live. We would love for you to download that app. It is a free app. And, of course, watch us on YouTube, watch us on Twitter. The Facebook feed is going down on Friday. So if you watch on Facebook, we'd love for you to move over to YouTube or Twitter.
I'm watching on YouTube now.
There you go.
Out, man.
Yeah, baby. Yeah,
checking
Braylon. We're going to get into some college football next. AP Top 25 came out. There was a team not on it. We love that team. We'll talk about that team and a pledge to you coming up next. Ermanni and Edwards, The Bottom Line on Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome to the Call Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom Team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
And we'll get to that. We'll get back to Fish momentarily.
Got to get Fish back on there, man. He looked good.
He looked good.
He looked darn good.
You look good.
He looked
and
good
I don't think we mentioned these guys enough. Fish in the Fish Bowl, Alex Mayer. These guys are working hard for
guys,
us,
man. We got Alex over here. He's the king of the jungle. Is that Madagascar? Wasn't the lion's name Alex?
I believe so.
There we go. We got the king of the jungle.
I believe so.
There,
I'm into these Disney flicks now.
Pixar, man.
Make
some money.
Man, that Disney Plus, I'm
telling you.
got
kids, too. I'm sure they get you all the time, man.
Braylon, I got a quick question for you, buddy.
Talk to me.
Earlier in the show, you were talking about the offers you got. Michigan, Vanderbilt, Cal, and Michigan State.
That was it.
And you said the choice words, I did not want to go to Michigan State.
I did not.
I don't know if you know this, but I just graduated from there in May, so I'd like to get some reasoning on to...
First of all, congratulations Alex, over there.
Congratulations.
It is not personal, Alex. It is nothing against you. It is nothing against the institution that is Michigan State University. My father went to Michigan, so there you go. I grew up already against Michigan State. My father grew up in Michigan, and I always was on the sidelines, and so I know that whole culture backwards and forwards.
Yeah, once you do that, you can't.
So it had nothing to do with you. Had nothing to do with Michigan State. Had everything to do with Stan Edwards and Charles Woodson.
Bray, how do you think I feel? Lifelong Michigan fan. Did their games for a long time with the crew. And I have a kid that's going to Michigan State starting in another week and a half.
How does that
You
work?
don't have to give them per diem, and you don't have to pay rent. And you know what? Hey, let them be on their own.
Seriously, Matt, how does that work? Now, will you root for Michigan State?
I can't.
Your money's going there.
I just can't. I fought this. I don't even know what I can do about it. It's a killer to me.
Yeah.
I just can't. Lily understands. Dad, I know who you're rooting for. It's okay.
I support your education. I just don't support your athletics.
But Lily is a Michigan
fan. She is. She
now,
was.
She's still a Michigan fan.
She's not anymore.
She's not.
because Michigan put her on the wait list and eventually did not take her in.
They do that with everybody. I feel bad.
Yeah, we thought that she was going to be a Wolverine. I mean, this kid had Wolverine gear since she was a baby. She packed it up. Yeah. She packed up her blanket. I still have all her stuff I was supposed to give away. It's still in the back of my car. I can't give it away.
I have a sister who's a sophomore at Michigan State as we speak, Brooklyn. She had the grades. She had everything, to get. She was on the waiting list at Michigan, 3.6 out of, Mercy, or 3.7, 3.8 out of Mercy. She had the grades. She had the last name, and she didn't get in either.
Are you kidding
She
me?
ended up going to Seton Hall, and then during COVID, she transferred from Seton Hall to Michigan State.
Get out of here. How doesn't
trust
she
me, man, it's not just your daughter. A lot of daughters and sons are waitlisted, and
it's hard, man.
Choosing to go to other schools.
It's getting harder to get in that.
It's almost impossible.
I would never get into Michigan today.
No.
25 years ago, sure, but
even donating,
4 points.
it's still hard. Even donating
Where'd you go to high
allow
school?
you a spot.
Grosse Pointe South.
Oh,
you went to South.
Yep.
You were a devil, a blue devil.
Blue Devil.
Blue Devil.
How were your grades?
I got all 4 points.
Yeah?
Yep.
That's what I'm talking
And how
about.
were your grades at Michigan?
My grades at Michigan, I barely graduated. Barely.
So it was difficult.
So my first semester, freshman year at Michigan, I worked my tail off.
Was it the curriculum, or was it your personal schedule and time management?
No, I think it was the curriculum.
Okay.
And my time management.
There we go. There we go.
But I worked my tail off, or what I thought was working my tail off, and I got a 3.1. Yeah. First semester freshman year. So
that's good.
It was good, but I had never seen anything that low on my grade point before. So
it shook you up a little bit.
Well, yes, but for the wrong reasons. I was like, if I got to work that hard,
the hell with this
to get this, I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah.
Diddly
poo. So
squat.
I went out and had myself a good time, and I needed 2 B's and a B plus my second semester senior year to get to the 2.0 in my economics degree. I graduated overall with like a 2.7.
Okay.
But in my major,
solid, right in the meat.
You needed a 2.0.
I got
2.0.
I got you beat right now, buddy.
1.997 in my econ major going into my second semester senior. So Jan Gerson, the great Jan Gerson.
Yeah.
She was my professor and my advisor at in the Department of Economics at Michigan. Yeah. And before the semester started, I said, Professor Gerson,
please,
this is what I need to graduate. Can I just please get 2 B's and a B plus?
Where's this story going?
And she said, you've got to put the work in, because I'm not comfortable in sending you out into the world with a degree from the University of Michigan Department of Economics if you're unprepared to do the work. And I said, Professor Gerson, I want to be a sports guy. I will not embarrass this degree. And I was truthful in that I don't think I embarrassed the degree as far as banking goes.
There you go.
Why'd you take economy?
I thought I didn't
economics.
Because when I went to school, I thought I had to be realistic about my major. And I could never get into the business school at Michigan. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you can get in now. You can get in.
I wouldn't want to.
Go get your MBA.
The way to get in Michigan nowadays is you go to Michigan. You go to Michigan. Yeah, besides you, you go to Michigan Dearborn. You do a year there, and you get taken into the University of Michigan Ann Arbor. That's how you really do it. Lily didn't want to do that. She said, "The hell with them. If they don't want me, I don't want them." And my kid is a terrific student.
That is a good point, though, when somebody doesn't want you, because I loved Michigan my whole life, but I also love Notre Dame.
And thank God.
You blue blood, you.
Well, I applied to Notre Dame too, and it was just like a flat no. And I was like,
were your religious values in check?
No, what do you call it? I applied to schools based on football teams.
Yeah,
and
most kids do.
I did, because I thought about the experience.
What an experience
football.
that would be.
And you look at Alabama's enrollment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that. You might make fun of me for saying that, but Alabama's enrollment goes up. Clemson's enrollment has gone up.
Yep.
Oklahoma's has gone up.
How about the U at Miami? Who doesn't want to go to the U? Chad Johnson's kid's going there.
That's actually a good school, though. That's another tough school to get into. Like for non-sports, like AC, that's a private school. I think their enrollment's only 14,000 or 15,000. That's a tough school to get into.
Look at that. All right, I did mention college football. Top 25 is out. We're going to get to that next. I promise. No, and the pledge that I have to make to you regarding a certain team. We'll be right back.
Like to win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time?
Then watch as we turn this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
Watch the Call Sam Chopper Shop on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Hey, it's Maz for Legacy Partners Insurance. Nobody likes to shop for insurance, so why not let a great company like them do it for you? They're independent, and they know what they're doing. They know the local markets. Give them a try. Legacy Partners Insurance. They get lots of quotes for you to make the carriers compete for your business. They shop between 7 and 10 carriers for personal, that's home and auto, and over 50 carriers for your business or commercial accounts. They've been doing it for over 100 years, so you can trust their reputation. Give them a call, 586-209-4106. Better yet, go to our website specifically for our Woodward Sports listeners and viewers, of course. It's legacypartnersins.com/Woodward Sports. Takes you to a landing page. Fill out your name, your number, how you want them to get in touch with you. They will take care of the rest. Let Team Maz at Legacy Partners Insurance work for you. Give them a try and tell them the good folks at Woodward Sports sent you.
Braylon, you see the board behind us.
I see it.
It is the usual suspects up there. Alabama, Oklahoma, Clemson.
The exception of 2 that are hiding somewhere.
Right. Ohio State and Georgia are, again, round out the top 5. AP Top 25 came out yesterday. One team that is not on it, the University of Michigan. They did get 12 receiving votes and the others receiving votes, but
did they ask you? Were you one of the votes?
Are you all 12?
You, Braylon, who else?
Me, Braylon, you, Fish.
It's like us 3.
Joey.
It's like Tim's around somewhere. I know Tim's in Michigan.
Harbaugh's mom.
Harbaugh.
John somewhere.
Jack Harbaugh.
But nonetheless, it is. I am going to make a pledge to you and to you and to you at home right now or wherever you are. I am not going to, from this day forward, until they give me a reason to, I am not going to talk negatively about Jim Harbaugh or the Michigan Wolverines because they are right now 0-0 in 2021. Right. They haven't won a game. They haven't lost a game. They haven't, quite frankly, done anything this season with this team. And you guys number your teams there in Michigan. So team 120, whatever it is, they haven't lost a game yet. And I'm not going to bash them for that. This team did not lose 20 years in a row to Ohio State.
It's true.
This year, isn't responsible for not winning a Big Ten championship since 2004.
Right.
That's not them. So I am not going to bash this team. I am excited for football. I am going to go back to the Ryan Ermanni core beliefs of the Michigan Wolverines. And my core beliefs is that each year starts anew. Each year is hopeful. Yeah. And I am very hopeful about this particular football team from here on in.
I'm fine with that. You're absolutely correct. And the team hasn't done anything. So what we need to do is we need to pay attention to what's coming out of Ann Arbor in terms of training camp, what's coming out of the coaches' mouths, and then starting to pay attention to this team starting September 4th against Western Michigan, I do believe. So I'm fine with that. If that's being said, would you like to talk about the top 5 guys, like the 5 studs?
We absolutely can talk about these football teams, Braylon. I will give you one little note. As we get a look at the preseason top 25 in the Associated Press, the last time Michigan was not ranked in the preseason top 25 was in 2015. They ended up winning 10 games that year, should have been 11, possibly 12, because of the Utah game. Rudock missed a couple of passes, and then, of course, the punt I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah, you can leave that stat up there. Yeah, there was a lot of guys on that team which we knew going into that season, even if they weren't ranked. We knew a lot of that talent going into the season, so it gave us kind of a sounding board for that year. This year, as always, man, you got Alabama. You got Alabama number 1. You got Oklahoma number 2. Alabama, you look at the cultures. If we're looking at the board right now, Ryan, like a lot of teams always talk about rebuilding. We use that at Michigan. We were using that for the Tigers. We were using that for the rebuilding. This team is rebuilding. The reason why these teams are always on this board, the reason why these guys are the top 5, they don't rebuild, they reload. There's a difference. If you look at Alabama's going to be number 1 or number 2 every year. I think Alabama just tied Ohio State for top preseason number 1s all the time. I think they're 10. I think the last 13 years, I put some stats down. The last 13 Alabama, what did they do? Seasons in a row, they finished ranked in the top 5 when the season started, or before the season started. Last 13 years.
You know how hard that is?
It's 6 national championships. You know how hard that is. People act like that's normal now. You look at what Dabo Swinney has done there. It's funny that Oklahoma's number 2 now, right? We were talking before the show. Oklahoma just can never seem to get over the hump. No matter how good the team is, no matter if they have the Heisman Trophy. I mean, you look at Sam Bradford, Heisman Trophy winner. Jason White, Heisman Trophy winner. Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield. They just cannot seem to get over that hump. They lose to LSU in 2003. They lose to, USC.
Spencer Rattler is going to lose them a football game this year.
They got the best play caller in the country.
They do, but Spencer Rattler, I'm just not high on him. I mean, he's the projected number 1 pick in the draft. We'll see. I don't know. I find him to be very erratic.
He is all over the place. He does seem to be all over the place. He also seems like he has another element or level, kind of like a Johnny Football, where it's football, but there's also like the face, the Instagram, and it's like the cool things, and it's like let me taunt and show you this cool stuff. So, watching him I definitely don't just see focus on football, but I could be wrong, and them being number 2 this year in the country, we'll see what Lincoln Riley can do under him.
Look at all those players that Clemson lost this year too. I mean, Trevor Lawrence,
still 4.
Travis Etienne. I mean, those guys, lead you every year to the playoff. That is a place that, but we around here don't know anything about.
Those are warm places. They're warm weather places, and they're places where people see success. Like now more than ever with social media, with Instagram, things of that nature, these kids are seeing the top places every year. They're seeing in the lights, Alabama. They know Alabama. They know Clemson. They know Dabo Swinney. They know Oklahoma. They know Lincoln Riley, young coach with a lot that he's looking to do. They see Ohio State every year in the Big Ten, like you talked about. That's where the quarterbacks want to go, either there or somewhere down south or out on the Pac-10 and the West Coast. And then you see Georgia. Georgia's another team that Kirby Smart, they're coming up. Like they're right there every year. They're right under Alabama. They're nipping at the heels. That's what kids see, and that's what kids say, I want to go there. Kids aren't afraid to say, oh, it's too crowded. I'll go here and I'll make a name. Kids like, nah, I'll go there. If they want me, I'll go there and I'll fight for that spot.
A team that's starting to make some noise, and they're in the top 10. They're number 7 is Iowa State. Yeah. I mean, when do you ever talk about Iowa State? You got this Matt Campbell.
They got to win a game.
But you got
3 years in a row they've been ranked preseason.
Stop it with Iowa State.
I'm just telling you.
Stop it with Matt Campbell.
Why?
Because
here's a guy that there was good rumors out there that the Lions offered him a Brinks truck to come here.
And thank God he didn't take it.
I would have been all in.
Because that's it. We talk about Harbaugh not being able to beat his rivals. Who is Matt Campbell beat? He can't beat Iowa. I mean, if Matt Campbell can't beat his own rival, you want him to come here and
he's just starting, man.
Yeah.
He's got to do it a little longer for me. I am not high on Matt Campbell.
I'm just telling you, they're number 7 in the country, Iowa State.
Well, let's see where they end up.
I'll bring up another school. Here's a school in the Big Ten, Indiana. First time Indiana's been preseason ranked since 1968. That's the last time they were ranked in the preseason. They're 17 in the country. If you look at what they did last year, man, 6-2. I know they only played 8 games. They had Ohio State going down. No, they only lost 1 game, I want to say. They had Ohio State going down to the wire and Ohio State ends up pulling it out. They have the quarterback in Michael Penix, a dual-threat quarterback at 400 on Ohio State. He had 150 yards rushing. He can run the ball. He can pass the ball. He's a young guy. You look at what Tom Allen has done.
They love him.
Hey, I'm telling you, I'm very high on Tom Allen. You see what he's done at the Hoosiers culture. What did you used to always say about the Hoosier? It's a homecoming game. It's a pushover game.
Yep.
They're not physical. You can do anything you want with that. Slowly but surely, you start seeing defense hitting guys in the mouth. I remember 2017 when they surprised Ohio State on that Friday night game when they put it on Ohio State. And Ohio State was able to come back in the end with J.K. Dobbins having over 200 yards rushing. You look at what they were doing on offense. They have quarterback after quarterback. They're getting receivers. They get over 1,000 yards. They're getting drafted in the first round and some in the second round. Indiana is really taking their time to put their team on the map. And with Tom Allen did, I'm telling you, this is a team to watch out for the Big Ten championship this year. I'm not playing.
I like it. I like seeing new blood.
Yeah, I like it.
Potentially a silly point, but how much does losing Mike Hart do for them? Because I feel like Mike Hart, running backs coach there, got a lot of recruits to go to Indiana, coached them up really well, inspired them.
Right.
He was always that leader in there. We always heard from the players talk about how special the relationship was with Mike Hart. Now he's with Michigan. I don't know. I'm a fan of Tom Allen. I'm a fan of Indiana. I'm a fan of Rutgers a little bit too. Greg Schiano.
Yeah.
I am too.
You look at what they've done in improving, but go back to that top 10. I mean, you've got Cincinnati in there. You've got
who Indiana plays this year. Indiana plays Cincinnati this year.
So somebody's gonna go home for the year in that game.
Yeah.
North Carolina is in there.
They've been floating around the last couple of years.
There's some different teams in there, which I think is good for college football. But nonetheless, Maz, you just struck a chord with me with this Matt Campbell Iowa State situation. I am pleased with the Matt Campbell.
Just telling you they're there to beat them.
Because you know what you're going to hear now is you're going to hear Matt Campbell as a possible successor to Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you're going to hear. And that's not me being negative and going back on my promise.
I've been asking for it, to be honest with you, because I'm done with Harbaugh. He's got to show me it's put up or shut up. I'm sorry.
Woosah.
Oh, yeah, I can't talk. I'm sorry.
Please.
But that's you. I can talk negative. They just told my kid to take a hike. I can tell him whatever I want.
This is true. Man, chill out. We'll do that next. Man, chill out. We'll do
Indiana.
that next. Then
watch out for Indiana.
Dan Dickerson, watch out for Indiana is right.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Talking about?
We were just talking about Tom Allen.
Like, would you stop it?
Dude, feels like he's 70. How old is Tom Allen?
Tom Allen's not that old. Tom Allen's in his 50s. Tom Allen's 50.
Tom Allen feels
53,
like he's
54.
76 years old, Tom Allen.
Stop it. It's not Tom Osborne. It's Tom Allen. Get your Toms right.
How did they start so late, by the way?
Who start so late?
Allen. I mean, where did he come from? I mean, just out of the blue, it's Tom Allen?
No, he's a defensive guy. I can't remember exactly. You got me now. I got to look it up. A lot of times it just depends on who you're under. Coaches tend to start late sometimes. If you get under a guy that has success and he's winning games, he's winning national championships or winning conferences, and you're just riding the wave. Your family gets comfortable and things of that nature. You never know, but I'm pretty sure that has something to do with it.
All right, time now, guys. Yeah. It is the segment of the show which I refer to as my favorite segment of the show, so it's all downhill from here. Yeah. It is time now for Man Chill Out.
Chill out.
Okay, so I will go first up. We talked about Tim Tebow earlier in the show, and I was always surprised by the vitriol for Tim Tebow because I always saw it as either A, he's going to be really good and make the team and help the Jacksonville Jaguars win games, or B, which is the more likely scenario, that he would suck, fall on his face, and get cut. And I never understood the harm in trying. We all have relationships in our lives. We have, most of us, known somebody to say, hey, yeah, you want to cut this lawn? Here's $20. You know, we all have.
But that's in their wheelhouse. Like, we don't use our connections, or people don't use their connections to do something that's not them. I'm not going to use my connections to Chef Bobby Narr and say, hey, you know, why don't you give me a gig somewhere being a sous chef? I can't cook like that.
Shout out to Chef Bobby.
Shout
Absolutely.
out to Chef. Since we're at it. But yeah, I'm not going to use that connection and have him get me a gig as a third chef in somebody's kitchen and I'm blowing it up, literally.
Fair enough. But we did freak out. A lot of us freaked out that he even got the shot. And Tim Tebow had some tweets today. You know, one of the things about it was, here it is right here. Thankful for the highs and even the lows, the opportunities and the setbacks. I never wanted to make decisions out of fear or failure. I'm grateful for the chance to have pursued my dream. Thank you to the Jaguars organization and everyone who supported me in this journey. And we know that God works all things together for good. That is the Romans chapter 8, verse 28, which leave it to Tebow to be
there it is.
Tweeting Bible verses
Make you feel
on the
bad
day he
about
gets
it now.
cut. But to all of the Jaguars, NFL, people who don't like the NFL but have to comment on Tim Tebow, to all of you fans out there, man, chill out.
Yeah. And I agree 100%. You know, at the end of the day, I don't know though. Like, I'm on the side. I don't think I think he took a spot. I think he could have potentially taken a spot. Like I said,
Yeah, what spot?
You never
spot?
You never know. Like,
If that guy's going to make the team, he'll pop on the team.
well, you never know. There's a guy that could have been a guy waiting for, you know, waiting on the outside, and he was 8 and Tebow was 7. They took him in. You just never know. Like,
At one point, it was the number 1 jersey sold. So he did some good for the Jaguars. There's some jerseys out there that nobody would have bought in the past.
That's not anything he did for the organization on the field. He did that off the field. He sold them, made them a couple of extra dollars, and i.e. himself, because he will get some of that.
Braylon,
for that.
you are up in the man chill out.
It's on me?
It is on you.
Man, so I now understand how people have to make money, and a lot of times you're starting to see sponsors are putting their logo on not just NASCARs, they're putting them on jerseys in professional sports. You saw that with basketball. You see that with the NFL and practice jerseys, etc. Now the NHL has come to the party of sponsorship. Check this out right here. The sponsorship endorsements or advertisers we place on the left corner just above the heart in NHL jerseys. I have a problem with this because I feel like the NHL or in hockey jerseys are the best jerseys in professional sports.
The sweater.
I love the hockey sweater. I love it. I think it's the best jersey, it's best sweater, long sleeve, just famous. I just love it. You can wear it in an outfit, and you think of movies. I think of the Mighty Ducks, and I just think of the Red Wings with no helmets and Gordie Howe, and now I have to look at some Goodyear tire logo on the left in the corner. Like, it's just ruining
Bell Tire.
Like, it's just, that was pretty good right there. It wasn't bad, you know, maybe a C+. But yes, I think they're ruining it with putting the logo up in the hockey jerseys. I've never been a fan. I've never been a fan of sports. So to the NHL for, you know, allowing these sponsors to just take away from such an amazing piece of clothing. Man, chill out. Chill out.
All right, Maz, you're up.
Hey,
chill out, NHL.
My chill out is what's going on with this NBA Summer League. NBA Summer League has all of a sudden become, it's like must-watch TV for the younger generation, I might add. And we have a text thread here, Woodward Sports Network. And if I don't look at my phone for, let's say, an hour, okay, which is very rare, I'll see about 110 texts that I missed. So I got to go back on my phone, and most of them are just talking about, did you see Cade Cunningham tie his shoes? Did you see Jalen Green bend over?
It's Ryan
Did you see what great Jalen Green did? I'm looking at our YouTube stuff, and I got guys, we're talking about college football. They're talking about Jalen Green against Cade Cunningham. This is NBA Summer League, guys. These are freshmen against sophomore mostly.
Yeah.
Nobody is playing. The Bucks already won the NBA championship a month ago. Please, man, chill out.
Do you know why that happened like that? I actually have a guess. I think I could be right. Do you remember watching a lot of the Drew League stuff? The Drew League is a league that exists out in California that it's a bunch of pro-am type guys, and they started having a bunch of NBA guys come. Most notably, Kobe played 10 years ago. Rest in peace to Mom, but he played 10 years ago and hit a game winner on James Harden. In the Drew League, they started getting a lot of people coming to those Drew League games. Kevin Durant, your Kyrie Irvings, your Damian Lillards, your Stephen Currys. They started getting a lot of people coming, and then they started showing these on Instagram. They started showing these on YouTube. Not to mention you had the Big Three as well. Ice Cube's league. You started having
I talked to Ice Cube.
Yeah, you started having the Big Three, so you started to see in the summer the guys that just finished, that just retired. You weren't talking about the NBA, and the NBA was getting pushed on the back burner with that. I guarantee you that's why the summer leagues is a big thing now, is because they were getting a little push from those leagues, and then that summer.
The summer league leads probably Major League Baseball in mentions, at least here at Woodward Sports, and it just bugs the hell out of me.
One of the great things about this job too is you
LeBron
get a chance to talk to so many great people. I mean, if I would have told Ryan Ermanni circa 1997.
What were you doing in 97?
I was a freshman in Michigan.
Oh, man.
I'd be sitting there talking to Ice Cube one day or multiple times over the years.
Yeah.
I'd tell you were crazy.
We got some cuts out of Allen Park, by the way.
All right, we'll get to that next. And Dan Dickerson will do all of that. This is Ermanni and Edwards, Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Hey, gang, it's Maz for our good friends and, of course, our studio sponsor, MyBookie.ag. You can get them at MyBookie.com as well. Join them up. It's the best in the business. That's how we do our business here at Woodward Sports. If you want anything on sports betting, MyBookie is the way to go. And, of course, MyBookie.ag, you can bet on hundreds of games and leagues from around the world. Whether it's a game day parlay or a long shot winner, MyBookie's got you covered. Not only that, but MyBookie's host exclusive sports betting contests you can't find on any other book. Bet the bonuses. They are insane. If you sign up today with MyBookie, use the promo code Woodward, as always, you'll receive up to $1,000 in bonus money with your first deposit. That's $1,000 extra cash in your pocket when you make your first deposit using MyBookie. Use that promo code Woodward. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
All right, we're going to try to connect with Dan Dickerson at some point here. But, guys, I want to get into some Tigers talk in the meantime. Miguel Cabrera with another opportunity to hit career home run number 500. He's sitting on 499. Braylon, look, the sooner the better, because this thing, you do want to put this thing behind you. I mean, obviously, you want to get this thing over with as quickly as you can. You want to do it at home, but it'd be nice to do it tonight. Now you feel like as the at bats are going, you want to do it.
Yeah, you definitely want to get it out the way. So, I don't want to say out the way like it's not 500 home runs for a career. It's a major feat. I just think, to your point, you just want to move past it so that you can still help the team. So it's not necessarily a distraction to the team. It's a very good distraction, and it should be a distraction. But you start looking now, is he reaching too much? Are they putting too much on? Are they no longer worried about winning? You know, they lose, 2 out of 3 this past weekend against Cleveland at trying to get that. So you put it behind you, you move forward, try to finish the season off well, get back into second place and finish on a solid and a strong note. And I think that happens if you can get the 500th one behind you.
And I do think there is something to be said for just kind of getting back to baseball and focusing on the team as a whole. I think this has been so great, how Miguel Cabrera has, knock on wood, stayed healthy this season. I think it's been great how Miguel Cabrera has performed so far this season, and that we're even in this spot right now, and you want to enjoy it. We all called for him. We all called for A.J. Hinch to have Miggy sit in that last game against Baltimore, and he sat him with the opportunity to come home and hit it. The first 3 games you didn't. You got 80,000 plus fans,
and that's the other side of it. That's the other side of it. Does it even matter? Like, they're not going to go to the postseason this year. They're not going to go to the postseason. It doesn't really matter. Everything really at this point should be about Miggy. It should be about the 500th home run, and once he hits it, et cetera. So, if this was a situation where they were going back and forth with first and second, and they're in, they're out, or they're trying to maintain to get into the postseason, then that's different. And then the 500th one now doesn't matter. It's just about winning. It's about getting into the postseason. The fact that that's not what's on the table, or that's not what's at stake, doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I think it does matter, because I think this baseball team it has surpassed all expectations already.
So then we won already.
So, well, yes. I think, but every time you want to win more.
Yeah.
Right? You win a championship, you want to win a second championship. Yeah. You got 2, you want to win 3. They're not even really at 500 yet. I mean, that'd be a nice mark to get to before we talk about it.
4 games out.
But I think when you look at this season so far as a whole, I think it's been a very positive experience that Miguel Cabrera's chase has coincided with this really remarkable run by the Detroit Tigers. In their last 90 games, the Detroit Tigers are 50-40.
Yeah, that's saying a lot.
That's not some 10-game sample size. That is who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, at a certain point along the way, that number of games becomes who you are as a team, and they're doing this without starters like Matt Boyd and Spencer Turnbull. They're doing this without a lot of guys that they kind of counted on at the start of the year.
We have the best manager in baseball.
A.J. Hinch.
I truly think we have the best manager in baseball. We lucked. I'm so happy he cheated, that we had a chance to get him, that he had a year off, and he comes here, and we are lucky. Well, yeah, I didn't want them to cheat. They beat the Yankees. I'll never forget Altuve running around those bases, holding his jersey. I'll never forget that. Yeah. I'm just happy that we have A.J. Hinch. I mean it. As a Tigers fan, I feel like we're in great hands going forward.
I agree. And not only that, but you look at how young these guys are, too. I mean, you got Torkelson and Riley Green coming up to AAA now. I mean, you've got a lot of guys to be excited about with this baseball team. And I think it only goes up from here.
Yeah, I think like you said, the excitement over the youth of what they have and the age range. They're all young. They're the right combination of players right now. And they'll only get better. AJ will only make better moves this offseason and next year, pulling people up, exciting free agency. But I think it's still about Miggy. I think if in a perfect world, they finish 500, Miggy gets the 500th, and then we're good. But all that matters is this 500th home run. Because you've already shown so much promise. You've already laid on the line what this Tiger franchise and what this ball club is going to be about from 2021 moving forward. Let's just get to 500 and let's be appreciative of what we've done and just really capitalize on it in the offseason.
It has given the team something to rally around as well. So many fans have reintroduced themselves to Comerica Park. If you look at attendance over the last 5-6 years even, nobody's going to the park.
Nah.
There's not a reason to go to the park. Miguel Cabrera was hurt. The Tigers were terrible. There was really nobody young you wanted to see. Now you look at this ball club. Miguel Cabrera's in this chase, chase for a milestone, I should say. And you've got these young players that are really playing good baseball.
It's kind of like that movie with Bernie Mac, Mr. 3000, where he comes out of retirement so that he can hit his, because they aired it wrong and he had 2,999. So he has to come back and get his get the rest of his hits. And he's the old guy on the team, and you got a bunch of young guys that are now learning how to play baseball. They're rallying around the old guy and they're playing for a cause. It's kind of like that movie in a sense. I'm not trying to call Miggy old. He's my age. We're born the same year.
Well, we got Dan Dickerson?
Our V-Mix was not working with Dan, but we got him on the phone right now.
Look at this.
There we go.
The great Dan Dickerson, kind enough to give us a couple of minutes here on Woodward Sports. Dan, thanks so much for the time. Great to talk to you.
Good to be with you guys. How's everybody doing?
Doing fantastic.
Doing good.
I have to ask you, Dan, have you prepared a call? Have you prepared a 500 home run call? We're all waiting for it. How much pressure is it, not only for Miggy, but for the announcer to get it right?
Yeah, not enough people think about the poor announcer and all the pressure on him. And I've hired a team of consultants and experts on media and calls, and I've got a laminated sheet full of 6 or 7 scenarios, but it's kind of a grid, so it's like inning, pitcher, what the situation is, and then I just mix and match the phrases. I'll get it right.
You got to have a towel too, Dan. You got to have a towel to wipe the sweat off your forehead.
Man, it's gonna be a great call.
No, but we talk about this, but Dan, look, the sooner the better, right? I mean,
well, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a neat moment every time he steps to the plate, so that's kind of fun. Yeah, I mean, sure, it'd be great too. I mean, you got to remember he's hitting a home run every 30 at bats, and it's been 15 at bats since he, hit his last home run. So he might or might not come on this homestand. What I just love is the crowd reaction every at bat, standing up, going silent like a golf gallery around the 18th green as the pitch is being delivered, and then if there's men on base, then it's a little louder. I just love the fact that he isn't trying to hit a home run. He's trying to do whatever the game situation dictates because that's how he's hit his entire life. And he's been a very productive hitter, and the home run will come. It'll probably come off a mistake, and he'll drill it somewhere.
Dan, yeah, I agree. I was telling Ryan the same thing. I'm like I didn't even think about it in terms of delaying it and stalling it out and having it continuously go so that you can just continue this excitement every time he steps up to the plate. Is it going to be this time? Is it going to be next time? Is it going to be this time? And then my biggest thing was just the players that have come together. Like you've had a season in which you didn't think the Tigers were going to perform at this level, and now you get the young guys rallying around, kind of like the vet, the old guy, kind of like Mr. 3000 with Bernie Mac. They're rallying around him so he can get this 500th home run and eventually next season 3,000. Talk about the guys in the locker room, the young players, the players on this team, and how it's been for them kind of being in this moment with Miggy.
I think that's probably one of the coolest things about this whole thing is that everybody's getting a renewed appreciation for not just his career and all he's accomplished, but the impact that he has on everybody around him, his love for the game, what an impact he has, even if he's 80% peak Miggy with his, production, although he's been pretty darn good lately, I have to say. The impact that he has on this team, I mean, I don't know, just being on the road in Baltimore, I think of a moment where they're out there stretch, they're just beginning their stretch, a little light jog up and down the first baseline in front of the dugout, and I was down there with some people, and we were watching him talk to Akil Baddoo, and you could tell that he was getting on him in a good way, but getting the message across because he made some bad throws the night before. It hadn't cost them, but they were just bad throws from the outfield on kind of routine plays, missing the cutoff man. And you could tell he was having a kind of animated discussion with, and believe me, Akil Baddoo was listening. And, then they get down to the other end. Jonathan Scope joins the conversation. You can see Miguel kind of making an arm motion like, you got to, finish here. I don't know. It was just moments like that. And you can only imagine the impact every single day with, as A.J. Hinch has described, an engaged Miguel Cabrera who's really enjoying playing on a team that's winning more and has a lot of energy with the kids. You can only imagine the impact he's having every single day when you see just one little moment like that. And all the moments that we don't see behind the scenes, he's never been a vocal leader, probably isn't now, but he'll pull a player aside, have that conversation with him. In the dugout, he's very vocal. And if you just watch him go about his business and watch how he's handling all that pressure, and he's just going about it like, what do I have to do here?
Yeah,
we need a single, we need a line drive, we need a sacrifice fly. He's doing that, not trying to hit home runs.
Yeah, not even a question on that, just kind of like a follow-up story. Like, I agree with you 100%. I remember playing on the same team as Lindani and Tomlinson in 2010.
Oh, yeah.
And I just remember, I mean, he's one of the best running backs of all time. You can argue that he's the best running back since Barry in terms of everything. I just remember talking to him and just – I'm hanging on his every word. Like in 2010, he was talking to me about, blocking and setting up and something, and every word he said, I was hanging on to it. But I agree with you 100% about how the young guys may, lean on him for advice.
Dan Dickerson joined us. Go ahead, Danny.
I was going to say, look at the opposing, Tommy. Look at the opposing pitchers, and Tristan McKenzie's comments after his amazing game the other day. And, what an honor it was to face Miguel Cabrera. Every Cleveland pitcher gave Miguel Cabrera the best they had. And that's about as much respect as you could possibly hope for.
That was an amazing game on Sunday. 11-0. And we're still tuned in the 8th inning because of maybe a perfect game at Comerica Park.
Right.
These fans have gotten their money's worth. I've been at most of the games trying to catch history. I'll try it again tonight. Tomorrow, Shohei Ohtani on the hill against – it could be tomorrow, man. Shohei against Miggy Cabrera.
Oh, come on. It's got to be, right?
Oh, my gosh. Holy crow.
You always say baseball's a romantic.
I think Miguel's just waiting for that moment.
I always say how romantic baseball is. Wouldn't that be something? Dan, I want to. We talk about the crowds, and Maz, I think, is he's there every night. You're there every night. 80,000 plus fans back at Comerica Park over the weekend, over the 3-game series.
Yeah.
Anybody you talked about the atmosphere downtown, how great it was to be back at the ballpark, and look, playing the Indians and playing for second place essentially. And I don't want to throw a parade for second place, but this team, from considering where they were supposed to be, that's playing for something. What was it like for you, and what does it say about Detroit baseball here in our city?
Oh my gosh, they got a "Let's Go Tigers" chant going in the 3rd inning the other day when they were down 11-0. I'm like, bless these fans, It's just like it's been great crowds, even when they were a little bit smaller. The energy in the ballpark is just, as they've kind of come to watch this team and understand the aggressive style and how they want to play the game under A.J. Hinch and his staff. They've really kind of taken to this team. Let's face it, it's going to take a while to get people back to the ballpark when you've lost as much as the Tigers have lost over the last 4 years. But I think people are sensing some good things going on. Getting to 500, taking over second place, these are not small things when you've been at the very bottom for so long and done as much losing as they have over the last 4 years. And A.J. Hinch, every time when he says, yeah, that's significant, and it's also not where we want to be. And these guys know it. But you have to have markers along the way. And when you start 15 games under the 500 mark, and you can get to the 500 mark, that's a big deal. I think the fans are adding so much. The big crowds over the weekend, the 2 times we've had 30,000 plus, believe me, the players notice. And the message from AJ has been, this is what it's going to be like on a nightly basis when you guys get to where we want to be.
50 and 40 in their last 90 games, too. I mean, that's not a small sample size.
Right. Yeah, since they were 15 game under, that's a pretty good stretch of good baseball.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Dan, how important has A.J. Hinch been to this team? I joked, I'm saying, I'm glad how it happened. I'm not glad that they cheated and they beat the Yankees. I'm glad that it happened and the Tigers got a chance to grab this guy. I feel like we're in terrific hands going forward.
Talked with one of the bullpen catchers on the road. It was a few road trips ago. Bullpen catchers see all, know all. They're out there grinding every day, and he just said, this isn't the perfect coaching staff for this team. This is the perfect coaching staff. I love the way he put it. It's like, not for this team at this moment. This is such a good staff led by A.J. Hinch. And you want to know what an impact a manager can make? Just, be around this guy every day. I feel very, very lucky that, I get a chance to travel since mid-May, when many radio teams are not. And it's allowed me to not only do the interviews face-to-face, but to have those moments before or after where he'll chat for a few minutes, and he does it here at home as well, where you can just get some background information or understand a strategy move beyond what we might have been able to address, on the manager's show. And it's just incredible. You want a manager to put guys in position to succeed. Well, the good ones do that, obviously, but he does it with such a level of preparation that it's changed my whole view of how bullpens are used. It's not just lefty-righty anymore. it's this lefty against this righty sometimes, instead of bringing in a lefty to face a lefty, because he can get the opposite side out just as well as, a guy from the other side. So it's really, the communication with his relievers, every series, all right, you're going to be getting this part of the lineup. Be ready. So before the game even starts, they know that they're coming into a game, whatever the inning might be, and they usually know which inning it's going to be, facing this part of the lineup so they can watch intently that part of the lineup. Long guys, short guys, it doesn't matter. Soto's, probably is closer, but I guarantee you if there's a team and it must win, you got to lead late, and there are 3 lefties coming up in the 8th inning, Gregory Soto will probably get the 8th. So it's just, that's the kind of stuff he does, the level of preparation. And these players see it, and they realize it's all in service of making them better, putting them in the best position to succeed. It's phenomenal to watch.
Dan, last thing, I know you got show prep, game time coming up at 7:10 tonight. They said the other day if the lucky fan that gets Miguel Cabrera's home run ball, they'll sequester him, put him in a suite, then have a meet and greet with Miggy and see if they can come up with a compromise on giving that ball up. What's your take on all of this? And, the souvenir guys are out there. The Zach Hempels he's probably here tonight. That guy, nobody gets more souvenir baseballs or footballs than that guy. They're pros out there. I at least hope a Detroit Tiger fan gets this ball.
Maz is very passionate about this, Dan.
He is. This is the side of the game that he covers better than anybody.
All right.
Yeah, they're gonna take care of that fan. They're gonna take care of that fan. They really will. And I don't think it'll be a big deal. That thing with Pujols a few years ago here was really weird. I don't think that's going to happen with this. I think that the fan will probably want something and deserve something, and that fan will turn the ball over.
A-Rod's ball
Miggy, get a jersey, get some tickets.
Forget jersey. A-Rod's ball went for $100,000.
I don't care. Let's get to the nuts and bolts. Stop dancing around it.
Dan Dickerson, the great Dan Dickerson, we really appreciate your time. And for joining us today, Dan, I'm going to send Maz.
Yes, what do I get?
I'm going to send Maz down with a towel just in case you get a little sweaty tonight on that 500 home run call, just in case you get a little nervous for it, okay?
All right, guys.
See you, buddy.
Dan,
always good talking to you.
Oh, you're the best.
Take care, guys.
Appreciate it. That is so funny.
That was funny.
The great Dan Dickerson.
Nobody covers a baseball being caught in the fans like me. Nobody.
I'm telling you. And is there? Look,
we gotta get some footage of that.
I love my guy Dan Miller, but is Dan Dickerson just the greatest baseball announcer?
Who could have taken over for Ernie Harwell? And nobody complained.
There isn't a human being on the planet that could have replaced Ernie Harwell the way Dan Dickerson has.
Yeah, I didn't pay close attention to it, but to your point, I have paid attention to there hasn't been any stopping of the beat. And there was no one that made any bones about it. There's not been stopping the beat. It still sounds amazing. He's always on point. So yeah, to that point,
he is Braylon, the absolute best. There's no doubt about it. We are long overdue for a break. We are going to take one now. We'll react to a couple of things that he said. One thing in particular I wanted to pick up on a point that you made regarding LaDainian Tomlinson.
Me? Oh, man.
Yeah, look at
That's
that.
what I'm talking about.
So we'll do that next.
All
Ermanni
right.
and Edwards on Woodward Sports Network. The one thing that Dan Dickerson said that is so cool about this, and Braylon, you had mentioned
it had to be the one about Maz covering. That had to be the best thing.
But one of the questions that you had was talking about the young guys eating this up, and Miguel Cabrera basically taking the young guys for a ride here, and Akil Badu eating up everything that Miguel Cabrera has to say, and just all of those small moments that will add up into big moments. You had one with LaDainian Tomlinson. You talked about that. So, you can kind of expound upon how when you have a player of this magnitude going through these milestone years, you can pick things apart in that. What did you take from LaDainian Tomlinson when you were going through that? You were the young player.
Yeah, it's crazy. I actually had two guys talking to me. It was LaDainian, and on that same very team was Jason Taylor, who's also in the Hall of Fame now, former defensive end for the Jets, the Miami Dolphins.
The brother of Joy Taylor.
There you go. There you go. Jason and Joy. Amazing individual. Joy is amazing at her job. I met her a long time ago when I was playing with Jason. But I just had a situation I was going through where there was some anger coming out, some frustration of the gameplay wasn't coming to us on offense, and it wasn't an individual thing. It was just from an offensive standpoint, we weren't playing like we should, and I didn't think that we were being coached in that moment like we should have been. And I had Jason as well as LaDainian just come to me and break it down for me on how the game works and how to handle that moment in that situation, and and it's very symbolic of. Sometimes you forget how good these players are. You forget the mystique around them because as they get later in their careers, you're no longer looking at LaDainian going, 30 touchdowns. You're not looking at him going, 2,000 yards. Like you're looking at just what you see. You're an equal. You're a peer at this point. But in those moments, it comes back to you of who that person is, how they approach the game, how they did it the right way. It's kind of like Any Given Sunday with Jamie Foxx, where Cap Rooney gets hurt, Cap Rooney's out of the game, Jamie forgets how to approach the game professionally and as a player and as a teammate. And then Cap Rooney comes back at the end of the game, and you see what Jamie says at halftime. He said, I learned more in that half of watching Cap Rooney that I've ever learned in my life, is because for those brief moments when they talk to you and they give you that knowledge and they show you why they wear the gold jackets or why they are all pro for years, you tend to have to listen. You have to pay attention and take heed.
Fair enough. Good stuff there, Braylon. I wanted to get to this because, Maz, you read the tweet yesterday, and I want to expound upon it if we could. Jalen Green has to be enemy number one for Detroit sports fans now. This was the tweet. Can we throw that up? It's video. Okay,
it's even better.
It's great.
I wanted to be the number one pick, but as for location, I didn't want to be in Detroit. So that first meeting at Joe Louis Arena between Houston and Detroit, can we just make that a Christmas Day game?
Yeah, maybe Christmas Eve. Like an hors d'oeuvre, right? The hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to endear yourself to
Joe Louis Arena,
people
he said too,
in
by the way.
Detroit.
I don't know if anybody caught
I
that.
have no problem with that. Because
Joe
if you know Jalen Green, he's a very confident kid. He thinks that he should have been the number one pick.
That's good.
And he's going to.
That's good enough there. Yeah, he didn't want to be in Detroit. Talked about it being like a G League bubble.
I don't think he realized what city he said that about, though. Like, Detroit's not just another city that just will take that lying down. Like, Detroiters don't play that.
Here's a different aspect of this. Do you think, and this is a total hypothetical.
Yeah.
Do you think that may be one of the reasons why they did not select Jalen Green? Because they knew
they could see behind it.
He didn't, you ask somebody about the city of Detroit and he'd be like, yeah, it's fine.
I'm pretty sure when you're, yeah, whenever you're drafting at that high level, whenever you're drafting in general as an organization, you have to do your homework and you have to do your due diligence. Especially when you get to the first round, especially when you get to the top 10, especially when you get to the top 3. You have to really do your homework, and you have people out there listening and seeing what's being written or what's being said and watching and et cetera. I guarantee you there's some truth to that, where they kind of knew that it wasn't in his heart to play for the Detroit Pistons. Fish, what you got for us, man?
Today, 23 minutes ago now, they released the NBA Christmas schedule and the first week of the NBA for national televised games.
Talk to us.
Not a shocker. Pistons, Rockets are not one of the Christmas Day games.
Darn it.
Maz, your Knicks, they get the noon slot again against the Hawks.
Oh, yeah. Bring on Trey.
Bucks, Celtics, 2:30. Warriors, Suns, 5. Lakers, Nets, 8. And Mavericks, Jazz, 10:30.
Where's the Knicks game at? Is it in the house that Trey Young built?
It's in New York.
Yes.
It's in New York.
Good one.
I'm watching that one.
I love Trey Young.
I do
Trey
too.
Young's a great player. But look, can we do the most hated athletes in Detroit?
By the way,
Sports.
Kerryon Johnson cut. today.
Oh, that
by
goes,
the Eagles.
Kerryon Johnson, if I may. You want to know why the Lions suck so bad, by the way? Amir Abdullah in 2015, A'Shawn Robinson in 2016, Teez Tabor in 2017, Kerryon Johnson in 2018, and Jelani Tavai in 2019. Those are your 5 second-round picks. Those guys should be starters.
You were waiting
really
for that.
Good players.
You haven't even gone to the 3rd round yet.
No.
He was waiting for that.
Let's start with the second.
That was impressive. Do that little flip with a notebook again.
I can only do it one. I can't
like an FBI agent.
I can't do it on demand, Braylon.
He's like,
Trust
so
me.
what they told me was.
Just ask my. Well, no, I don't ask.
Most hated athletes.
Okay. Most hated athletes in Detroit sports.
I'm going last.
Okay, I'll go first because now I think this Jalen Green becomes the top guy. But,
okay.
Most hated athletes in my 4 most hated athletes of all time in the city of Detroit as a sports fan. Michael Jordan, number 1. Gotta be. Claude Lemieux, number 2. Ron Artest, number 3. And do you know who my 4th would be?
Who?
You ready for this? Maybe off the board a little bit.
I'm waiting.
Nelson Cruz.
Tiger killer.
304 average, 25 home runs, 75 RBIs. This dude is a maniac.
Jesus.
That's just against the Tigers, by the way.
Yeah, that's, man. I thought that was like high school career stuff.
Maz, you're up.
I got my big 4. My big 4 will start with Patrick Waugh, just because he's an a-hole, and we hated him, and we wound up beating him. So that takes care of him.
Okay.
Big Papi. I still have nightmares. I hate the Red Sox to begin with, but for what they did to the 2014 Tigers, just killed me on that Sunday night in game number 2 at Fenway. Scottie Pippen. Just a big mouth.
Yeah.
You know, good player.
His mouth has
player.
gotten bigger in the last couple of months. His mouth's gotten bigger.
His mouth is getting bigger and bigger, and he's
said he's the best Bulls player of all time.
I know he's unbelievable.
Sick.
And I finally, with my football, I have to go back to that Lions-Cowboys wild card game. Head referee Pete Morelli, you cheating bastard, you.
Where's his boy Dean Blandino?
Yes.
I like it. Claude Lemieux's like number 1. Like you don't even have to mention Claude. So that was a great job by you. Claude, he comes in here, they sweep us in 95. He comes with the hit on Draper in 96. So, but my list is slightly different. I'm going with basketball. I'm going Horry and LeBron. Here's why I got Horry and LeBron. 05, Horry hits the shot to go to overtime in Game 5. Then in overtime, he hits the shot to win the game. We end up winning Game 6, but we were so spent from having to win Game 6, we had nothing in Game 7. So Horry, and then inadvertently having LeBron next is because in 06, the Pistons were wiped from 05. LeBron comes out, Game 5, once again, he scores 28 of 29 points, going into overtime, beating the Pistons at home. That dismantled what would be the rest of the Pistons, their run. It was completely over after that. It was championship. It was lost championship. It was lost Eastern Conference Finals. Ben leaves the following year. He goes to the Bulls. Rip Hamilton leaves as well. It was over after Horry and LeBron, 05-06. So that's why those two are hated. They destroyed the Pistons. Big Papi. 100%.
Big Papi.
I got Aaron Rodgers in there, man. Aaron Rodgers is 19-6 career against the Detroit Lions.
Can you do a slash on that one?
Well, you gonna add Brett Favre?
You got to.
Well, he's 19-7, so there you go. It's 38-12.
And don't forget that they each killed us. A Hail Mary and a Sterling Sharp. Come on.
You got that. And here's a distant guy. It's not kind of like your referee. He's not an athlete, but he did play football at one point, so I think he count. Matt Millen.
Oh, yeah.
Is enemy number 1 as well because of the 0-16 2018.
And not because he played for the Raiders.
Exactly. Oh, look at you. 2008, they're 0-16, I believe it was. Is 07 or 06 or 08, 07?
The Morning Weg era, the Millen Morning Weg.
16.
Go on, Marinelli. What a destruction!
Then he drafts
what a destruction.
And I play the position receiver. He drafts 3 receivers in a row: Charles Rodgers in 03, Roy Williams in 04, and then again he comes back, Mike Williams in 2005. They could have had so many other players in 2005.
I never had a problem with the hiring of Millen.
Right.
Me neither.
I had a problem with the extension of Millen.
Well, Mr. Ford liked going out to lunch with him. And had to extend him.
Yeah, and until his son broke kayfabe, as you and I talk about, when his son came out, Junior, and said something about it, then it kind of was like, maybe we do got to get rid of this guy.
More football next. This is The Bottom Line, Ermanni and Edwards on Woodward Sports Network.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Hey, it's Maz for our good friends at Levels Provisioning. Join us for the grand opening this Friday, August the 20th. Levels located on Sherwood Avenue, just south of 10 Mile in Centerline. Woodward Sports will be broadcasting there all day long. Of course, the Morning Wood, and then Big D Energy, and then us. The Bottom Line will all be there. Make sure you come and join us. Lots of great stuff. Listen to this. Free food trucks. I'm in. Tons of giveaways, including your chance to enter for a chance to win a brand new 2021 Dodge Challenger. For more information, go to their website, enjoylevels.com. That's enjoylevels.com. Levels grand opening this Friday in Centerline. Join Woodward Sports there live. We'll see you.
Guys, we want to thank everybody listening on the Woodward Sports app and, of course, watching on YouTube. You know, we're having some fun here. Braylon and I are just starting out. We haven't been together. This is our fourth show. Fourth show. Our first full week together, and Maz is along with us as well. Alex Mayer, Fish.
These guys make it happen, man.
Yeah, we are, and we're hoping to provide you another avenue of watching, consuming, listening to sports talk in our city here, and
try to do something different. You know, so I feel like a lot of times you get the same topics consistently throughout the sports world and the ways they're covered. You get the same type of topics from the same people, the same energy, same personalities. So we're trying to provide you something new, different spins, different takes, and
look, nobody's got the perspective that Braylon Edwards can provide.
No, they don't.
Seriously,
I'm bringing it from all type of places.
First and foremost, I mean, I'm just
even if he has to say so himself.
I'm just along for the ride, Braylon Edwards.
First and foremost, you've caught on to one of my phrases. I say it so much,
and that's okay. Yeah. You should.
My boys always get on me for it.
You should patent it.
When they imitate me, it's always like first and foremost. It's like I'm on a dating show. But first and foremost,
we'll ask Stan about that tomorrow.
He'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, how about that?
Big Stan. My dad will be here tomorrow.
Stan Edwards tomorrow. I can't wait to have him.
It's going to be fun. 6 years in NFL, third-round draft pick.
He can still
5 years
play.
Under Bo.
He's in shape. He can still play.
Still looks good, man.
Wait
a minute. Before he comes in tomorrow, is there any way you could have him bring me something from the old Houston Oilers?
You know what? I actually think I can. I can. He's
so funny.
He's been floating some paraphernalia over the last about 6 months or so.
He was drafted third round by the Oilers.
He was.
Back in the day. I love that. Love you, blue.
That's when it was 15 rounds.
When I first told my dad that I was going to do this show with Braylon Edwards, my dad says, "You're going to do a show with Stan's kid?"
There you go.
I mean, how great. Like, I was like, yeah, I mean,
right.
Look, like I love Stan Edwards. I know Stan Edwards, but for a guy like me, it's Braylon. You know,
the
for my
funniest
dad,
thing,
he's like, "You're doing a show with Stan's kid."
I like your dad.
Hey, that's the truth. I'm still Stan's son, man. Like the Michigan faithful that are older, I'm still Stan's son. I wore Anthony Carter's jersey. Like some people, like that era, like, and I have no problem with it. Like I have absolutely no problem with it. But I was Stan's son forever, and it was like the Michigan State game was like the only time where like the Michigan faithful that were older came out. I was like, Braylon Edwards, and then it was like the very next game was Northwestern. Yeah, Stan's son. He only had 60 yards this game. He only had 60 this game.
That's so great. Yeah. So we're looking forward to having him tomorrow in studio with us. But you mentioned Brett Favre in the last segment, and this just recently came out a couple of hours ago. I want to play this for you. It's 1 minute long. This is a PSA that Brett Favre has now done and released with Concussion Legacy. Here he is. He is saying that kids under the age of 14
he doesn't have his member. Okay.
Yeah, he's saying that kids under the age of 14 should not play contact football. Here it is.
Mom, Dad, let's talk about tackle football.
I just learned about CTE, the brain disease caused by repeated hits to the head. The more years I play, the more I'm at risk. If you put me in tackle today...
By the time I'm a senior in high school, I'll have played 13 years of tackle football. I could already have CTE, and it will continue to destroy my brain even after I stop playing. So by the time I'm your age...
I could be fighting depression, struggling to keep my thoughts straight. I could become violent, even towards my own children. When I'm your age, what will matter to me is not my youth football career, but that, like you, I'm a great parent and I can provide for my family.
So please, keep me out of tackle football until I'm 14.
So if you're listening on the app and didn't have the benefit of watching that, Brett Favre, there's a line at the end that says, encourage your kid. Don't let your kid play tackle football. Encourage flag football until the age of 14. Interesting that comes from Brett Favre. Braylon, I will let you have the floor here first.
CTE is a very real thing. CTE is a very real thing. A lot of players suffer from it, be it football, soccer, contact sports. It's a real deal. It does affect the brain. It does cause some of the things that Brett said in that commercial, mood swings, being angry and not being able to control it, not being able to control those parts of your brain at those times, and it deteriorates the usage of your brain. With that being said, keep kids out of tackle to 14. I started playing tackle football, Ryan, when I was 12.
Yeah.
When I started at 12 years old for the West Side Cougars, which right there, Wyoming and 7 Mile, and then I played for the West Side Cubs, Broadway and Petoskey over there, and then I went to King High School and then on to Bishop Gallagher. I don't have a problem with kids not playing tackle before 14. Like, I think you don't have to necessarily tackle before 14. There are tons of 7-on-7s. There are tons of passing camps. There are tons of flag football for the younger ages to play, to be able to enjoy football, to be able to learn the positions that they want to play. Obviously, you have to learn how to tackle the right way. I don't have a problem with kids not playing till they're 14. A lot of kids have had success on a great level in the NFL because they haven't even played football until late in high school. Or Dominican Sue is one of the, I think. But with that being said, I think there's so much safety around the sport nowadays. There's so much in terms of the technology of pads that they have. It's so much in coaches' nature now to protect the kids in practice and not have these all-out. Like, we used to do Oklahoma drills and all that crazy stuff, like every day. Every day was hitting and hitting and hitting. I think they protect the kids now, so I don't think a commercial like this is necessary to put out to dissuade parents, because I think they do a good enough job at the young level, at the youth levels, the peewee levels, as well as the high school levels, of protecting kids, and then they go to college. So I don't think you need a commercial like this, but if that's how Brett feels in his mind about what he's dealt with, then by all means, so be it. I understand, so be it.
I like my identity when I was younger was that I was a football player, that I was a baseball player. I love sports. I played sports. That's why I'm sitting here today.
Yeah.
I started playing tackle football in 4th grade for the East Detroit Tiger Cats.
East Detroit.
Then I played at 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade at St. Veronica. I mean, that was who I was as a kid. That the friends that I have, I still talk to my friends on that team, whether it's Ricky Court or Greg Stempen or Joe Palm.
Don't tell me you're like Al Bundy talking about Polk High.
No, we don't talk about
right.
playing for St. Veronica, but we stay in touch.
Yeah.
From those relationships that I made through playing football. Some of the discipline that I have. We always use that word discipline that we have. I have that because of my football coaches growing up, playing sport. I don't know if it would have had the same impact on me if I wasn't banging heads. And I understand that this is out there. The more information you have about something, the better informed your opinion about it can be. the information is there. Let people decide what they want to do with it. I would let my kids play football. I have a nephew now who's 15 years old. He plays at De La Salle. He's going to be a freshman there. He's been playing for the last 6 years.
There's a flip side of that too, Ryan. Like at the end of the day, for CTE really to set in, CTE, I guess it can happen. I don't want to get too technical and too into medical terms, but for you to get to that level like Brett Favre, like you have Brett Favre in the commercial. Brett Favre is arguably the best quarterback of all time. He's definitely in that conversation. He's usually around 6'5", 4. I don't know where. Brett played 20 years. Mm-hmm. He played college ball. Mm-hmm. He played high school ball. He played little league ball. The chances of an individual being able to get to a level like a Brett Favre to where they can play little league than that are so slim to none. There's slim to none the chances of a player actually being able to get this. Like most players aren't making it past high school, and they're not even starting in high school.
I was done at 18.
Exactly,
I
done.
I was done at 17 actually because I didn't turn 18 until after the season, my senior year.
That's why I said it's not a commercial like that isn't necessary considering all the energy, the money, and the research that they're spending into pads, technology, and the less of the bringing down the amount of hitting in practice. And before you even get to it, you don't need a commercial like this. Go ahead, Maz.
There's a ton of people commenting on this. There's a lot of people. Arthur Smith said, many of us in the day played sports in the 70s. He grew up in great Detroit parks. He played at Kronk, basketball, all that. It was huge to play outside. Nick Hedgen said, legit, I'm pretty messed up mentally. My brain is scrambled. I've had 10 to 15 concussions. Anything we can do to create a better life for our kids should be done. I'm going to take it on the other end. I played football as a kid. I wasn't very good.
You sucked.
I was a B team, C team guy, taxi squad. I didn't play long.
Why'd you dismiss him that fast?
He knows.
Freaking Ryan.
Listen, we went for a run one time on the freshman football team. They went one way. I ran home the other way.
So you like Tebow, okay.
Yeah, so anyway, nonetheless, I became a sports writer, and here I am today. Nonetheless, I still think if you have the right men leading your teams, you should still play tackle football. But you do it safely. You don't do the Oklahoma drills. You don't do 100%. The one-on-ones. And you just teach them the right way. Yeah. Because if they don't play when they're little, flag football's not tackle football, guys. It's not tackle football.
But I was talking about young. I mean, when I say flag football,
I was 8 years old when we started playing.
And honestly, though, Braylon,
gladiator.
Look, if you see some fourth graders out there or some 8-year-olds running around, I want them to have a helmet on.
Yeah,
I mean,
we tackled in the street like when I was a kid, so I get it. We played tackle football in the street.
How big of an injury can you get if you're not wearing a helmet? You're running into each other trying to grab that flag out.
But what they're saying is get rid of Pee Wee football. You can't get rid of Pee Wee football.
That's what they're saying. Don't get rid of Pee Wee football.
No, you just need the right men leading those kids.
Right. And at some point, you're right, Maz. You have to teach the game properly, and I think that's what's starting to happen. Look, I'm not going to go back and tell you how great of a football player I was. Although
sucked,
I
heard.
But
I
was waiting
play varsity
for
all 4 years. Okay, Gross Point South. I mean,
4.0.
I was a 4.0. I was the captain of football, captain of baseball, and I played varsity all 4 years.
Okay,
sorry.
I see you out here, Ryan.
My
boy out here.
Yeah. Then I had that.
I started calling you Captain Ermanni.
Braylon, I had that back injury. They pulled my scholarship from Michigan.
Horrible.
It was terrible.
Just like you're pulling our leg.
Sad day. But most of us aren't going to play an extra 20 years.
Yeah.
After the age of 17. Yeah. It's just not going to happen. And we led with the crown of our helmet.
Yeah.
We didn't know that you got it. Look up.
I just think the other side of it is, and I want fathers and mothers that are listening to this. I don't want you guys to think we're what's the word I'm looking for?
Minimizing
we're minimizing the risk. We're minimizing the intelligence of it and the seriousness of the matter. I don't want you guys to think that we're taking that away because we're very serious. We understand whatever you want to do, we support. I'm just simply saying that as CTE has really come out and it's really gotten in front of the media for mothers to be able to see their sons and daughters, for fathers to now take a second to analyze, maybe I don't want my son playing. since that's become to the forefront, the intelligence, the knowledge, and the research that has gone into actual tackling, how to tackling, the right way to play the sport, the what pads to wear, when not to hit, the times that you should, how many times you should hit throughout the course of a season. Like, all these analytics have been done, Ryan. All these analytics have been taken into account over the past, since the movie, like right before Concussion came up. Like,
Good
when
movie.
I think the accent was a little off, but the movie served a great purpose, though. That's when they really started to go hard into the research and the analytics. So I think it is it's a lot safer now than it was when we were playing. So I definitely think you can. It's safer now.
Dude, I just did a story recently about a product that came out of this. It was a football coach that, you wrap the tackling dummy and the number changes on the tackling dummy. So the player, when he approaches the bag, the tackling dummy has to shout out the number on the dummy, because that would prove his head is up and not down like that, because you can't read the number on the dummy if you're looking down. That's a safe way
100%.
to play the game, to learn the game. Back then, sorry, I keep doing this.
We were doing
I
stuff.
have to do it. But back then, and it was even worse in Maz's day, we were...
We didn't even play with mouthpieces.
Right. But I mean, we were wusses if we wanted to get a water break. Those, they didn't stop football because football coaches back then didn't give water breaks.
Yeah.
These guys thought they were Vince Lombardi.
Right.
That's what they thought.
Yeah. Football coaches evolved and allowed players to have water breaks, because then you're going to jail for child abuse.
Because then they're not getting paid back then, too. So they're like, oh, and I'm not getting paid. I'm taking on everything that's going on at the job place. I'm taking out on you guys.
And look at the NFL. There's no more two-a-days.
Right.
They're gone. That's history.
And there's no more three-a-days in high school football either.
I remember that.
I mean, we would be there from 6 a.m. to 6
We
p.m.
called it Hell Week. We called it Hell Week.
They don't
Bishop
do
Gallagher.
this stuff
That's
anymore.
not fun.
So don't. What I'm saying is, don't take it away. If you don't want your kid to play, don't play. It's no different. But don't just make people think that they're trying to go kill their kids if they're playing football.
Yeah.
Please. The bottom line is, we'll do that next. This has been a very spirited segment of The Bottom Line.
No pun intended.
Ermanni and Edwards. Maz is along for the ride. This is Woodward Sports Network.
You know why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 five-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Detroit Pistons, I'm all the way in. Let's do it.
Ever since the Pistons drafted Cade, different vibe around here at Woodward Sports.
Hey, Sean.
What up, though?
What's up, Adam?
What's up?
Hey, Nick. What you working on?
You ready for the show, baby?
How's it going today, Fish?
What up, though?
What up, though?
What up, though?
Did you see Fish say what up, though?
Do it again. Fish, can we get a what up, though?
We got to get one, Fish. We got to get a what up, though.
We got to get a live what up, though from Fish.
I don't naturally do those.
Ah, come on. You guys, it was natural there. What up, though?
And I also don't wear those. I don't wear sunglasses, period. I'm not a sunglasses
That I can
guy.
see, but that would, I think you say what up, though. I can hear. That sounded natural.
Before we get to the bottom line is, fellas, the Atlanta Falcons are the first NFL team to be 100% vaccinated.
Ooh.
Here's the Falcons tweet. We'll get it up on the board
They're
here.
proud of it.
They finally won something.
We have reached a 100% COVID-19 vaccination rate. And there you go. And to be honest with you, I don't even know really. That's great, right? I mean, that's great.
All those players obviously wanted to be able to hang with their teammates, come and go as they please, because that's what the vaccine does for you in the NFL. It says it in the NFLPA rules. If you're vaccinated, you're good. If you're not vaccinated,
you're bad.
It's 2020.
Go ahead, Fish.
Two things. One, how'd they get me to wear the glasses? They basically peer pressured me into wearing the glasses. Two, oh boy, I might have forgot.
Oh, come on,
okay,
Fish. We're talking about the
Pressure gets to
Falcons,
me
Fish.
all the time.
It's all right, Fish. We'll let you think about it. Then we'll come back to you. Yeah, it's one of those things, just kind of like you said. Good. Like good. It's like it's good for them. It's good that they're taking the steps, that they have the brotherhood that, hey, you know what? if you want to get it, I'm going to get it. We're a team. We're in this thing together. That's a good thing. I don't really have anything other than that.
The Raiders, the second NFL team to require proof of vaccination for fans.
But it's different.
Explain it to us. How is
It
it?
is different. The law set Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders.
To require proof of COVID-19 vaccination for Raiders games at Allegiant Stadium.
Correct. Now, it's different than the Saints, because in the Saints, if you remember, you needed 72 hours if you weren't vaccinated to show that you were COVID-free.
Yes.
If you have a vaccination card, great. You can go right in. But you're all wearing masks. For the Raiders, you can go in. If you're vaccinated, no problem, no mask. If you're not vaccinated, they will vaccinate you there if you want, or you'll have to wear a mask as you're inside the stadium. So there's the differences.
Oh, wow.
Mark Davis
on
top
spot.
of things. On the spot.
Which is...
it's not bad. I mean,
I think it's good.
I think it's good, but if you get your shot at the stadium,
right,
you are not fully vaccinated. So, like,
But you still have to wear your mask.
Oh, you do have to wear your
until you're completely vaccinated.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're just giving you an option.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They're like your local, hey, we'll give you a shot.
That's where the
It's
disconnect.
like, what about the other shots?
That's where the
Do I
disconnect.
come
was
back at
coming from
halftime?
me. Right.
Or
like,
maybe you get the J&J. Is that a one-shot deal?
But still, you're not fully
I
vaxxed.
know.
I mean, so
Yeah,
I
you
thought
can keep
like
that
they were going to be
J&J.
like, well, get the shot and then you can take your mask off. That would defeat the purpose scientifically
J&J
from what we
stands
know
for
now.
just jokes. On you there, buddy.
They announced yesterday, I believe, that we're going to need a third booster shot.
No matter.
If you feel like you need it, I think.
Right.
If your immune system is still a weakened immune system.
Well, that's not what the CDC said.
All
They're
right, good for the CDC.
recommending /forcing /
Let's
peer
just get
pressuring.
a shot a week.
Not to make light of it. Not to make light
Want
of
you to
it,
get
but
it.
the CDC does also recommend that you eat red meat well done. That is
I
an
did not know
actual
that.
recommendation from the CDC.
They better not follow me then.
Right. I mean,
I can imagine.
that is an actual recommendation from
Hey,
the
you
CDC.
a Little Tony's fan?
Oh, come on.
I was
Burgers there?
Little Tony's in
I know that. I know.
Grosse Pointe Woods on
I went to
Mack
Harper
Avenue.
Woods. Like,
Yeah,
I went to
you know.
I went to Gallagher.
I was in there the
Buffalo's
other night with my wife and my daughters, and as I'm leaving, they're packed.
You probably see my mom and stepdad there
They
all
probably
the time.
are.
They love that.
So I'm walking out, and I thank the guys because the grill is like right there. All of a sudden, the one guy follows me. Hey, Maz. I'm like, hey, it was Little Tony. I finally got to meet
wow.
Little Tony, and he loves us, loves Woodward Sports. Two of the cooks come running out. Hey, we love Woodward Sports.
Oh,
so I want to
shoot.
give a shout out to Little
There you
Tony's
go.
on Grosse Pointe Woods. It is the best burger on the east side to me.
That is
It's a
fantastic.
heck of a burger.
Thank you.
It's a heck of a burger.
That is great. Hey, time now for the bottom line is. You
No.
guys ready?
I just gave it to you.
Well, you
forgot
get
mine.
another one.
All right.
You get another one. Okay,
I
guys.
even know mine.
Yeah, you got
I got
one.
a couple.
Yeah, you got a couple.
I got a couple.
So the bottom line for you, ladies and gentlemen, is that yours truly, Ryan Ermanni, loves the Michigan Wolverines, and I am not hating on the Michigan Wolverines, nor am I hating on Jim Harbaugh, because to be the man, you gotta beat the man. Woo! Woo! And Michigan, baby, has no losses on the season this year yet. They're 0-0. The bottom line is Michigan is unbeaten. That's the bottom line.
So okay. I like that. You went with a little Ric Flair action right there. You really got it in. And I'm gonna tell you something about my bottom line for the day. You hear me, Tino Santana over there? This little macho for you. I think the bottom line for me is gonna be NHL. Don't do it with the sponsorship on the jerseys. I love the jerseys. I love them without the sponsorship. Please don't do like the NBA. Please don't sell out. Please don't make these guys walking endorsements once again. I need them without the patches. I have a couple Red Wings jerseys, and I can only imagine if they had a sponsorship patch right here. I'm not talking about
Tire.
Ford or Dodge or Chevy or whatever.
Little
No.
Caesars probably.
Seriously.
Nah, you give
Why
me a free
wouldn't it
pizza
be?
or whatever. But bottom line, no sponsorship on the jersey.
Can I just make a point about that quickly? How nice is it when the sponsorship actually matches the jersey?
Yeah,
like
that's
when the Pistons were sponsored by Flagstar.
right.
It matched.
Yeah, it matched.
It matched.
Yeah.
And now I think it also matches. I think it's United The
wholesale
mortgage.
Matt Ishbia.
So that's nice. And the Red Wings, they've got it on the helmet. United Wholesale Mortgage. So it's a lot nicer when it matches the jersey.
Now, I like it on the hockey helmet. It don't bother me. But now they're going to move it and put it on the jersey.
Yeah,
They'll probably have it on the helmet as well.
The helmet's not bad. It's just the jersey. I was cool with the helmet.
Well, I mean, how about in baseball? You got
Nike swoosh.
You got the beautiful Detroit Tigers jerseys, or you got the beautiful Yankees pinstripes with a swoosh on it.
But that's Nike. They're sportswear though. That's different.
Yeah, but it's still a logo.
We had to wear freaking Reebok my first 6 years in the NFL because Reebok had the contract with the NFL, so he had to wear Reebok.
I wasn't thinking
somewhere.
about Reebok. I was thinking
the swoosh is nothing wrong with the swoosh.
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with the swoosh.
Hey, the bottom line for me is that Miguel Cabrera is going to hit the home run, historic home run number 500 in this series. It's probably not going to be when I'm there. I told you he's probably going to do it on Thursday afternoon when we're on the air, but we'll have it on the television and we'll follow along with it. The bottom line is Miggy, he's going to do it this series. Hang on, folks, and get down to Comerica Park for number 500 and pay for it.
Fish, you had your hand up?
Fish has
Maz,
one.
where are you sitting? Are you sitting in the home run area?
No, I'm sitting behind home plate, upper deck, second row. I might maybe get a foul ball.
Do you get tickets, Maz, or do you just go in?
I get tickets. I'm going with a couple of friends of mine. Ethan Perlman has been outstanding to me this year, taking me to plenty of games. I used to, back in the day, have my pass.
Yeah.
Since COVID and everything, they cut back, and since I'm not at every single game, I can go on a game-by-game basis.
You just
but I've been going.
It's a pain in the butt.
I've been going as a fan.
Yeah, right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's kind of nice, though, too.
Yep.
That's great. Yeah. I wanted to go on Sunday, and I'm kind of glad we didn't, right? God. We talked about that.
You got Isaiah Thomas to a donut.
That's right. 11-0.
I get it.
Yeah, this guy's sharp, man.
He is sharp. Tomorrow, and we're going to check out how sharp he is. Tomorrow, we got Stan coming.
Oh, shoot.
That's going to be a good day.
I got to warn you, my dad's good, man.
I know.
He's been doing this for a while.
We talked.
He said he said he's worked with both of you guys. I know that.
In an old radio life, Stan would come in and we'd talk to him. My good friend Rico Beard. Yep. We used to have Stan in studio at the old radio station there.
Hey, as we're closing in on the 4 o'clock hour for the Lions to get down to what is it?
You got some news for us?
I got some. What do we got to get down to? 80 players today?
85.
85 today. So away from the reserved injured list, Michael Warren, the running back, they've released him. Non-football injury designation, tight end Charlie Tompo. Oh. And on injured reserve, they play center Evan Boehm, or Boehm, B-O-E-H-M. Corey Woods out there representing Woodward Sports will fill us in with the rest. A couple of earlier, remember, we didn't get a chance to actually talk about it, but
Alex Brown.
Alex Brown, he was released last week, and it was because of a DUI, and he's facing 4 charges right now, which is not good. And we told you about Kerryon Johnson getting released from the Eagles. So he's a freebie.
Very unfortunate. You know, you look at a guy like, and I almost don't want to end the show this way because I don't want to end it on a downer, but Alex Brown facing 4 charges, DUI, injured the player that he was with had to be taken out of the vehicle with the jaws of life, going the wrong way on the freeway. Very serious story. Here's a statement from the Detroit Lions. They're aware of the situation involving Alex Brown. Alex was waived driving under the influence, something we take very seriously as an organization. And they extend their thoughts and support to the victim and the family during the recovery.
Hey, go ahead, man.
The whole situation is very sad, you know, because you look at this guy. He's been working his whole life to get to the NFL. You finally got a chance. And it's just unfortunate,
it's a sin.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate.
Hey, did you guys get a chance to go? If you go online, DetroitLions.com, they do their own Hard Knocks type thing. And we pulled the cut earlier today. We didn't get a chance to play it. It's Dan Campbell mic'd up on the field at Lions training camp. We'll play about a minute and a half here for you. Check out MCDC at Allen Park.
Who's mic'd up to that?
It's not me.
I hope not.
It's not me. This is what we should be out in right now. I know. Well, everybody would love it too. Cool you off. How do we not have an extra guy here? How do we not have a guy for over here? Give me somebody. Be disciplined with it. Be disciplined. That's right. Overlap. Good. All the little stuff. Here we go. Here we go. Good. Yeah, make sure we're legal. Good. Good. Yep. All right. First group here, second group there. One's here, two's there. Going in. Good, good, good. Talk it up. Talk it up. Good talk over here.
I actually thought the Detroit Lions would have been a great candidate for Hard Knocks this year.
You're not allowed. First-year coaches are not allowed. Next year, you could book it.
Yeah.
You could book it.
You think so?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I watched that first episode with the
It was
Cowboys.
boring.
It's boring.
Boring.
I don't know why. I'm not into it.
It's boring, but you see the power and the potential that they have there. And I think that's why when you hear when they were picking them before the season started or before Hard Knocks started, you think Cowboys, Dak, Zeke, Jerry Jones, book it. It's a deal. Like here, when you think Hard Knocks, like what would be our selling point outside of the man himself?
Oh, man.
Dan Campbell. What would be our selling points? Campbell and golf?
Yeah. I mean, who is the selling point in Houston? You know, I mean, you had Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, you only got two. And
J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt. Yeah, that's
J.J.
nice.
Watt.
J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt.
Okay. But Dan Campbell's talking about biting kneecaps.
Yeah.
You know,
He's the most talked about coach in the NFL.
Right
Let's face
now.
it. Yeah. This is the most press the Lions have had since forever, since Barry Sanders, maybe.
But it's all good. Maybe we could talk more about it and Braylon, get your experience on Hard Knocks a little bit with Rex and
Had a
feet and
segment
all kind of stuff.
By the way, my
we
main
gotta
man.
find that segment.
Hey, my man Mike Allway, who is the booster shot, he knows his stuff. Booster shot 8 months after your last immunization for all, FDA recommendation coming.
Oh, I love it.
So everyone,
I love it.
bend over or lift up your shoe.
Maz, you're great. Braylon, everybody,
man.
you rock.
Hey, it's you, man.
Oh, man,
That's
it's
Maz.
you.
I
Oh.
just happen to. I just live in Maz, Fish, and Alex. I just live in their world. Man.
I'm here because of you, man. We'll get Stan Edwards tomorrow involved. Hey,
Shout out to
everybody,
Pops.
Shout out to Pops. Everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching on the Woodward Sports app, on YouTube, on Twitter. Remember, on Friday, we are taking the Facebook feed down, so we'd ask you to move over to YouTube and Twitter to watch us. And, of course, download. Tell your friends about us. That'd be
AC
great.
time.
Good talk. Good talk. Good. Good, fellas. I like it. Presence.
Stay. Swim, play ball. Play ball. There you go.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Hey, good by you. Hawk, good by you. That's good. Bert. Yep. Don't time those steps. Just run it. Hey, just tell him once he hits the second level, try to get back to square.
Yes.
You know? It'll help him. I mean, it'll make